Over the past couple weeks, especially if anybody's been watching any of my videos, you might have noticed that I've had some troubles with my bolt closing. And it's been really weird because initially I thought, well, it's because I, was doing a shoulder bump test and, maybe it was just causing it to, be a hard bolt close. And I don't know, I kind of just wrote it off as that. So then I came back and started bumping my shoulders how I used to. Still wouldn't close. In fact, it almost got worse. I was really struggling to close the bolts, and it would almost kind of snap when it finally closed. It wasn't like a hard push. So I happened to be at the range the other day, and I just couldn't get my loaded ammo to close. I couldn't even close the bolt this time without feeling like I was going to hurt something. So I started looking at my ammo while I was there, and I noticed something. And that was that on my brass, so if this is my brass, there was a little lip on the sides. And it's almost like, it looks like this. And there's just the faintest right there. And in fact, here is a close-up of what it looks like. If you look closely, you can see there's just that tiny lip sticking out right there. All right. So you see how there's just this tiny lip. Well, I went and looked at my trimmer. And as you know, I use a Geraud trimmer. And to be honest, I've never really checked the actual trimmer head. I've set it, tightened it down. Haven't really paid much attention to it over the years. Well, I guess it just slowly slipped ever so much that when it was trimming, it was causing these little tiny, lips on the side. So when it tried to go in the chamber, it was catching, on the lip right there. And so when I was at the range, I actually took my knife and actually shaved the lip off. Boom, bolt closed beautifully. So I did that. I had about 30 rounds. I went ahead and shaved the necks on all of them. They all shot great. No issue closing the bolt or anything. So when I got home, I took a look at my Geraud, and sure enough, there was a problem. And I tested a couple, found the lip. And to give you an example, this is a couple of pieces that are trimmed the same way that I haven't fixed yet. And there is just right there, you can just, if you take two that have that lip, it just catches just a little bit. And it's hard to see, but you can feel it if you're doing it. Okay, now after fixing it, here's what proper brass looks like. And this one here is perfectly trimmed. There is no lip, as you can see in the picture. So that is this brass here, and these just glide off each other. Absolutely no lip or resistance at all. I actually loaded up 40 rounds of these and went and shot this morning. And I mean, the bolt just was beautiful. So what's the moral of the story? Well, I guess you could say don't get lazy or don't assume anything. But, the story is you need to make sure that you check your equipment. I took for granted that my cutter head would never move. And it doesn't, it really doesn't take much for it to be out of adjustment. So make sure that you aren't just arbitrarily doing something like trimming your brass and assuming it's okay without checking it. And trimming is probably one of those things where I kind of look and I go, well, I see the bevel, it looks good. You can see the cleared away metal, it's shiny. Everything looks fine, and I really just wasn't paying much attention to it. So something to look for in the future. And look, I'm not perfect. I make plenty of mistakes along the way. I just thought this would be a really good one to share with you guys. So I hope it helps somebody out there. The rest of you can just laugh at me. That's fine. And we'll talk soon.